Hey everybody, thank you for joining today. Welcome to the Uplift Network's weekly news brief. Here at the Uplift Network, we have several things we're doing. We're spreading positive news stories, positivity with a purpose, with the goal of uplifting each other across the planet during this time of chaos and uncertainty. We sure need more good news in the world, and there's good news happening all around us. For every negative thing you see on the local media and the networks globally that keep pushing that narrative in front of us, for every negative news story, there are so many positive news stories, so many positive things happening in the world, and so many positive stories that maybe when you hear them, it will inspire you to also be part of it. Go out into this world and be part of the uplift. Let's make it a movement, right? Let's come together as community, as humans, sharing our gifts and lifting each other up and participating in however we can to make the world a better place. This week, I have picked a set of news stories that we'll get to. I do have some notes, so I read from these so I don't miss a beat on these. And let's jump right in. We have four stories globally this week, and the first one is in Japan. So, a 7-Eleven owner pays forward kindness from a decade ago with viral signs offering shelter from the scorching heat. So it says located in several cities in the Nagata Prefecture, Western Japan, signs inviting customers to come in and cool off suddenly popped up at three such convenience store locations. The sign reads, if you feel unwell and think it may be heat stroke, please do not push yourself. Come inside and cool off. Then, of course, social media got a hold of this and it went viral. The sign continues and says, there's no need to purchase anything out of courtesy. Please focus solely on recovering your strength. How sweet is that? A lot of us do go into a gas station or a convenience store, like when we have to go to the bathroom or on a day when it is hot and you're taking a walk. Sometimes I've walked through, a CVS or a Walgreens just on the walk to kind of cool off a minute before I finish the walk because you really don't need to buy anything. But this is like a social invite, right? Just kind words telling people it's okay, come on in, and that somebody's caring about you and will notice you when you're in there versus me walking through a CVS or a Walgreens and, fainting in aisle two and nobody knowing why you're there, right? So the words weren't written originally by 63-year-old store owner and franchise owner Takahashi. Sorry about that. But he adopted them after seeing similar notices online during last year's scorching summer. He was at a time wondering what he could do to help his community. The first viral post of the notice appeared on X, where 500,000 people liked it, and then it was shared and translated into other versions by overseas accounts. As the 90-degree days turned into bitterly cold winters, he then switched out the signs for new ones that said, you must be tired of driving on snowy roads. If you are, please don't hesitate to come inside and warm up. That's so sweet. And they had the same caption about not having to purchase something. We pray for your safety, it concluded. The response to the sign was especially enthusiastic at the Ozumi parking area near the city of Nagaoka, which is an area known for heavy snowfall where truck drivers often sleep in their cabs. So super cool. I hope I don't get your name wrong twice here, but thank you, Mr. Takahashi. I think that's amazing of you to do. And we praise you and we thank you, and the world needs more people like you. So again, maybe seeing this post, other shop owners, whether you own a pizzeria or, a franchise like Mr. Takahashi or a coffee shop, maybe you too could pay it forward. So I do love that story. It goes on to say that he years ago he was suffering a heat stroke and sought refuge in a restaurant years ago, and this is where the owners there took care of him as he recovered. And he said he never forgot that single act of kindness where they gave him cold water and led him to the coldest seat. And he hopes that others will recover from his convenience store doing some kind of a pay it forward decades later. So super cool story. Um, The next story is just as cute. I love this one. Free ice cream. So this is a story out of, I believe it was Massachusetts. Let's see. Free ice cream gift for one child prompts donations to fund free sweets for kids for the entire summer. So this was a heartwarming, brain-freezing story. Comes from the streets of Massachusetts, where a woman who offered free ice cream to a penniless child sparked a flurry of giving. Madison Silvagnoli can be found on her truck called Maddie's Ice Cream and More along the streets of Gardner, Massachusetts on hot summer days. She says her ice cream truck is a symbol of childhood nostalgia of her customers as much as spreading joy and turning a profit. So it wasn't surprising to anyone when she was confronted by a teary-eyed child explaining that he had no dollars to buy ice cream. How sweet is that? Like, that's just too cute. So she dolloped a single scoop into a small cup and added some whipped cream and sprinkles and handed it to him. She said, "We don't turn away kids when they don't have money. And that if you want an ice cream from Maddie, you get an ice cream from Maddie. So good for you. Like, that is just so sweet." And she told him, "Buddy, you can always come up to the truck for an ice cream," because she didn't know, does he just not have money for today? Or does he really just never have money for ice cream? Maybe that's not something his parents can do for him, right? It said that the response and her kindness was, of course, shared on Instagram with many people praising to the high heavens. And then the comment section, there was ideas around donating to a fund that could pay for free ice cream for children that don't have pocket money for that. And so she set up a product on her website called the No More Tears Fund. And that's the fund where you could donate to add money to this account for children who don't have money. And really, it's just like funding free ice cream giveaways. And so it says it features a happy, smiling cartoon ice cream with cones and cups and a tagline that says, "Kindness is always free." And that was taken from the caption of the video that went viral on Instagram that had 9 million views. That just tells you that this is what the world wants. People want to see these feel good stories. People want to donate to them. People want to participate. Some people feel they don't have a gift or they don't have a store or they don't have a way to do something and they want to donate to others who are doing this good. So never feel that you have to sit back and not put out there what your gift may be or what you're trying to do, because there's so many other people in the world who want to contribute, and maybe they're too busy. Maybe they don't have Instagrams and Facebooks and don't know how to do a GoFundMe, but they'll contribute to yours when the purpose behind it is to help others in need. So I love that story, Maddie. Thank you for that. Appreciate it and appreciate all that you're doing. Okay, our next story is from Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver's teddy bear doctor. I love this. The doctor stitches together more than just plushed toys, as she's stitching together memories as well. So, did you ever have children or even a pet who has a favorite toy, a doll, a stuffed animal, a teddy bear, whatever it may be, and they carry that thing around until there's like no more fur on it? It's got one missing eyeball and the stuffing's coming out and the little squeak is gone or the little talking box is broken, right? I mean, I think we've all been there, and it's hard because you try to find that thing, like especially when kids are little, try to find one just like it and you hope you can swap it out, but like it's never good enough. Like I remember when my sister was little, there was this doll called the Drowsy doll, and it was like just a sleepy baby in a pink jumper, and she just loved this Drowsy doll. But she would go to sleep with that, and I think she must have sucked on its fingers or something, and the little plastic fingers would like pop off. And so it was kind of a hazard at that point, right? A choking hazard. So we kept trying to replace Drowsy, and I think we got away with it one or two times when she was really little, but like as she got older, there was no faking out Drowsy. Like there was no way. Anyways, so I just, I thought of her when I read this story. But let's get on with the story. So Ruth Hassman has repaired hundreds of stuffed animals over the years since she retired. Whether it was an overzealous child, a close encounter with a dog, or just too much loving, there's no damage that she can't fix. So from a mass produced SpongeBob SquarePants to a 115-year-old hand-sewn bear cuddled through 5 generations. Hassman says her favorite part of her work are the stories behind each one. How cool is that, right? Kind of like that story we had about the lady in the park that serves tea in New York and the stories that she knows the faces and people's stories and they come back over the years. This woman is, fixing these animals, these stuffed animals and toys and dolls, and each one has a story that I'm sure comes with a letter when it gets sent to her. And so there's like a special memory that goes with that. And then there's memories that, with her fixing it, and there's memories in that family or that generation or that child to get that toy back as well. So I think this is so cool. She's made every kind of repair on a stuffed animal that you could think of, from reattaching eyes, limbs, heads, fur grafts, stitch ups, stuffing transplants, and even voice box repairs. If she doesn't have the material on hand because it's wrong texture or color, she will scour local thrift shops until she finds a donor. I learn something new almost every time I fix one, she said. It's a pleasure talking to the people, finding out the history of the bears or the toys, and there's a lot of poignant stories. It's not uncommon for her to repair a bear and receive a thank you card from its owner, a gesture that makes the needlework worth it. She said she's currently training an orderly to take over the work when her fingers have lost their dexterity, but for now, she's going to keep on operating theater open since the stories behind each one, each bear, each dog, each monkey, and elephant just pull at her heart. So thank you so much for all that you're doing. That is so special. I know I have a teddy bear up in my closet. I should share it in a future video. His name was Doggy, and I had him when I was a little girl. I know he got swapped out a few times, but he is just shattered. He's just like, he hardly has any fur. You just see the kind of the textile behind it, the mesh, because he was loved so much. And I've been carrying him around. I've probably moved 10 times since I was a little girl. I still have him. He's in my closet. I'll bring him down. His little voice box used to play Brahms' Lullaby. It doesn't work. Maybe I'll send him in and get him fixed up. But for me, actually, it's the tattered bear that I still hold dearly and I call Doggy, that I probably wouldn't even care that he gets fixed up. I just, it's just something sentimental. Anyways, thank you for this. I love this story. Okay, lastly, this is really cool. College commencement speaker announces he's paying off the final year of loans for all graduates in honor of his dad. I think this is just so special. Where were you 40 years ago? Just kidding. Okay, over 170 students set to graduate from North Carolina State University were about to get the surprise of a lifetime when they filed into the arena in their red caps and gowns. As with all graduation speeches, possibilities seemed palpable. Hopes and dreams were waiting in the horizon. Unbeknownst to the scholars, their commencement speaker, Anil Kochhar, I hope I'm saying that right, it's Kochhar, had a lifetime planned that would pay off the final year of student loans for every 2026 graduate in the school's Wilson College of Textiles. It's my privilege to announce today that in honor of my father, Prakash Shokla, my wife, Marilyn, and I are providing a graduation gift to cover all of the final year education loans incurred by Wilson College graduates, he exclaimed. The announcement earned raucous cheers and numerous rounds of applause from everyone in the audience. Instantly, 176 students who were receiving bachelor's degrees and 26 who were receiving their master's degrees had an entire year of college debt wiped away. I think that's amazing. I know how much these college students are holding. I have two sons that went through college. I have Parent Plus loans for my youngest one that I'm still paying off, and I'll probably be paying off till I die. I know what that is, and that is just a beautiful gesture. He said, Marilyn and I hope that all of you leave Reynolds Coliseum today, not only with a degree, but with greater freedom to pursue your goals, take risks, and build the lives you've worked so hard to achieve. The pictures from the audience, like graduates are crying. They're in tears over this. The man's father, Prakash Kochhar, immigrated from India to Raleigh, North Carolina 80 years ago to study textile manufacturing in America. He was believed to be only the second student from India to ever enroll at the university. He eventually earned his bachelor's degree in textile manufacturing in 1950 and his master's in the same program in 1952. His textile engineering skills soon led to the success in a career that crisscrossed several states as part of a global textile company. He passed away in 1985, but his legacy continued with a scholarship that has been in existence for 40 years. And it carried on when his son spoke into the microphone on the graduation stage. My father could not have imagined this moment. Not just me standing here, but all of you standing here, the younger Karsher said in his speech. A new generation shaped by a different world, but connected by the same spirit of the possibility that brought him here decades ago. And that's what today represents. Suddenly, a new group of graduates was heading out in the world with an unexpected head start provided by their graduation speaker and an asset from the former student who chased down the American dream all the way from India. How beautiful is that? I just think that that is something that, you know, anything is possible, but when someone gives you a gift like that, it just gives you an uplift to believe it even more. So, congratulations, graduates. I hope you do something super fantastic with your education and that you come and pay it back. I'm dying to see how this plays out full circle. So, that's today's news. From around the globe, and thank you so much for joining me. If you like these weekly updates, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the subscribe. If you hit the bell, you'll get a notification when we post the weekly global news. And if you subscribe to my channel, it helps us build this network. We're trying to build a movement on positivity and share positive stories, positivity with a purpose. So thank you again. It's been a pleasure to speak to you, and I'll talk to you soon.